You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 176. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I'm joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire, Roshan Warner, at Roro.
Hello. Oh, God. I'm a little sick. Sorry. Hello.
We've given you the sickness. Passed along. And the host of Large Popcorn and video essayist Christian Macias at ISO Christian.
If you love me, you will be going outside tonight and staring up at the green comet.
Oh. Green comet.
I want to see a green comet. Hell yeah.
You want to know something else interesting?
The first time since the Stone Ages. I'm sorry, what else is interesting?
Wow.
That's
awesome.
This month is the first time for the next 600 years or something that we're getting 4 Mondays, 4 Tuesdays, 4 Wednesdays, 4 Thursdays, 4 Fridays, 4 Saturdays, and 4 Sundays in the month. Exactly.
What does that mean for my paychecks?
Nothing.
Evenly distributed throughout the year?
Sure. I guess. Yeah. Anywho, Gage is working. We will miss you, Gage. But thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, guys, is our discussion surrounding live service games and maybe their destruction, possibly. But first, the show always starts with the quick bites, so let's go ahead and jump right in. However, before the quick bites, I did want to discuss this right at the onset of the episode. Actress Annie Wershing, who played Tess in the Last of Us game adaptation, has unfortunately passed away from cancer at the age of 45. Definitely some sad news there. Terrible. She leaves behind 3 boys, and she had family members put up a GoFundMe to support those 3 boys. So I encourage you to go out and look that up and search it up. We also have it in the description of the show as well. So yeah, rest in peace.
And then a lot of the big outlets and people like Neil, who directed Tess the original, have all come out supporting their family, and also been linking the GoFundMe, which has been nice to see. So I'm pretty sure people have been coming out to support, which I mean, very unfortunate. Cancer just sucks, period. So
absolutely awful disease. Moving into the quick bites, guys, so we'll try to make it a little bit more lighthearted here. Road 96 is on the road to getting a new story called Mile Zero, coming April 4th. Ro, you're excited?
Yes, sir. I mean, I put this in the chat as if I was excited, but I may not play this. I think I was more excited the fact that they are getting the chance to make another game in this series. Because I'm pretty sure... Nope, I'm wrong. They've made other games before. But I feel like this Road 96, the one before this, kind of was their more popular out of the ones that they made, and it was good enough to, I guess, warrant a sequel. So I was just happy to see that they're not disappearing, because a lot of indie devs, that can happen. So I'm just happy that they're making more. I might play it. I liked Road 96 a lot, not enough to finish it, but I got really close. So if they're making another one and it's better, then I would definitely check it out for sure.
Heck yeah. Moving on, Battlefield 2042's update 3.2 has arrived. It is a big one. This, of course, comes with it the new class system returning to Battlefield. Of course, a lot of fans were disappointed at the launch. They did not have the class system. So they're introducing playing as the familiar Assault Engineer, Recon, and Support. As they return to the class system. Customize your class with class equipment, gadgets, and weapon proficiencies. They reworked a map breakaway, which they've done that already on a couple of other maps as well, which is very cool that they're actually looking at that. New vault weapons that they're adding, new suppressors and scopes and thermal scopes and such. So yeah, a lot of good stuff coming to Battlefield 2042. You get some players back into it.
People, I mean, yes. And people like Jack Frag, I think, has a big influence on me sometimes when I watch his videos pop up a lot on my YouTube feed. And he's always he's a big Battlefield guy, so whenever he posts videos like, is Battlefield back? It's always kind of clickbaity, but like when I see it in action, the way he's playing, and he's got new videos up, it's like it does feel like it's back. But I don't know if it's if I'm gonna download this huge update and get going. Maybe if the lads want to squad up, I might.
Heck yeah. If anyone's watching this video right now, I'm just playing with the video settings as you guys are talking. Just
Oh wow,
yeah,
My goodness.
stupid video.
so you hate me?
No, I'm listening to everything you're saying. This video is irritating me. Anywho. Christian, oh, I have that up here. Anywho.
What have you done?
I forgot to put it in there. Sorry. This is great live banter here. IGN reports that PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo will not be part of E3 2023. Obviously, I don't think this was a big surprise in terms of Nintendo and Sony not being a part of it, because they already haven't been a part of it well before the pandemic anyways. It is interesting that Xbox is kind of stepping away from this role because Microsoft is I believe on the board of the ESA who runs E3. So if they're stepping away, then I think you guys got a problem there, ESA. So yeah, I guess.
I mean, what is there to watch now?
Yeah.
We got Square and Ubisoft, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who could have foreseen this, right? That the big boys would want to do their own thing and not spend a bunch of money to rent some arbitrary space.
Crazy.
Yeah.
My God, it is sad though to see that how E3 has devolved over the years. But like you were saying, Christian, it's not super surprising that with how digital things have become, that it's just easier to save money. And with Summer Games Fest as well, just whip up a nice little reel and send it over to Jeff, and there you go. You got a press conference right there. So yeah.
And it's also like, I think for a while now, companies have just been on their own timelines where they're going to show off stuff when they're ready to show off. Like, they don't need E3 anymore, which is the sad reality, right? Sure, like you say, we do have Summer Games Fest. Like, when there is stuff to show, like, we'll throw Jeff a bone or two. And they're big bones sometimes. We got Elden Ring showing off and Armored Core at Jeff stuff, I think, both of them. But yeah, like, Sony isn't, like, case in point, they haven't done a PSX in a while. They didn't even do a state of play, or sorry, not state of play, the showcase last year. And there's an argument to be made that, like, maybe they needed one, maybe they didn't, who knows? But, like, they're going to do it whenever they want to, and they're not going to be just, like, forced to do it on 1 week in the summer every year when maybe they don't have stuff ready to go.
And I heard that this, I could be wrong, but I heard that this E3 was longer than usual. Like, it's more days. Is that right? Or are you guys not sure either? I could try and figure.
I didn't hear this.
Okay,
I believe
I might
you,
be
though.
crazy.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Tuesday, June 13th to Friday, June 16th. And usually it's like Thursday to Sunday, right? I guess it's the same amount of days, just a different time of the week. I don't know.
Are you talking about the conferences or the actual, like, show floor?
I don't know. It just the event, I guess, from when it starts and when. Yeah.
Conferences used to be one Friday through Monday or Saturday through Monday, and then the rest of the week was show floor for audiences, and then, like, the week before was for like Judges Week.
Okay, maybe it's shorter, honestly, in some cases. But
yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's something to keep an eye on, I guess.
Who's gonna buy the booths?
Yeah,
yeah. Who's gonna buy booths for that? I don't know.
I don't know. Real quick, the alternative we have now, though, of, like, things spread out for, like, I don't know, 3 months. I don't know. Like, it feels messy sometimes.
absolutely.
Yeah, I wish it was a bit more organized when E3 was kind of bigger. It just felt like I know when big announcements are going to happen. Get excited around that week, and I mean, to an extent, it is messy, but it's also a little bit more fun sometimes. Like you never know what you're going to get on a random Thursday. You could freaking Metroid Prime trailer could drop. You never know. But yeah, I agree. I really liked those just fun gatherings that we were able to have, and just know that it was happening this week.
Sure, but we also get like chance for smaller games to shine.
Yeah,
because it's dropping on a random day or whatever. Like, oh,
yeah,
there's some cool stuff dropping that otherwise would have been drowned out by, Zelda 3, Breath of the Wild 3. I'm just saying stuff.
Yeah. And the three major publishers aren't going to really give a crap about what the other ones are doing, so they're not going to line up with Jeff and say, "Oh, we'll take this day," and then PlayStation can have that day. Yeah, sucks, but anywho, we'll see. We've got a bit of a turn here from my predictions from the beginning of the year already. Microsoft is raising the price of Xbox Series S and X in Japan on February 17th. The Xbox Series X is going from going to 59,978 yen, which is roughly $460 US, it used to be $422 US roughly. The Series S is going to 37,978 yen, which is roughly $291 US, and would have been equivalent to $253 previously. So a bit of a price increase there after Daniel predicted no price increases, but I can't remember if I said globally or just the US, but I hope I said the US in my prediction.
Was it you or Gage who predicted?
I thought I did, didn't I? That the price wouldn't go up on Xbox?
I refuse to check.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. It'll be a surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho, the Crew Motorfest has been announced for 2023. Guys, any Crew fans in here?
No, not me at least.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, we can enjoy watching this trailer. UB, what the are you doing? We don't want this. We want Splinter Cell.
Oh man,
we do want Splinter Cell. That is true.
Yeah.
It's even the comments here. It's like this is just a worse Horizon. There,
right.
A lot of people are saying it's like
Forza Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Crew, I mean, is a worse Forza Horizon. I mean, I assume this game was in development long before all their troubling statistics have been coming out, but this doesn't seem like the game that is going to save Ubisoft right about now.
I think the location is kind of interesting in Hawaii, but
that is true.
Yeah.
That is cool. I thought that was neat as well. Doesn't get me wanting to play it though.
Agreed. Guys, this is a little bit of a beefy quick bite, but I'll try to just go through it real quick. We got a bit more clarification for Halo and 343 yet again. I feel like we've talked about this 3 straight weeks now, so I apologize in advance. Jason Schreier, though, this time has come out with a report detailing restructuring of 343 and Halo's future, I guess. Apparently, the studio and franchise essentially all but starting from scratch. At least 95 people have been let go from 343, which their studio is about 400 to 500 people, so a pretty good chunk of people gone.
Almost 20%, right? That's crazy.
Pretty much, yeah. And they're also saying that Halo is switching to Unreal Engine with a new game codenamed Tatanka, which it's been the long-rumored Battle Royale that's been in development with Certain Affinity. And, of course, Tatanka originally was supposed to be just a Battle Royale mode for Infinite, but now it seems to have evolved to become its own game. So I don't know if that means it's going to be more than just the Battle Royale, or if they're just going to try to distance themselves from Infinite, or what that all means. I don't know. It is interesting there. the interesting part is the rumors were last year that development had restarted on Tatanka, that it was originally in the development engine of Halo Infinite. And so now that they're moving to Unreal Engine, if that is true, it's going to be a long time before we see this. We're not going to get this year like I was hoping for initially. And also, according to Schreier, reports sounds like there was a lot of people that were at 343 that were messing with prototypes in Unreal Engine for different story-based content for Halo. But of course, most of them were let go because of the campaign team being let go. So the company is not actively working on new story content, which is similar to what we had heard last week as well. So yeah, that's all. That kind of sucks. I think the engine stuff is interesting. There's a rumor also that there's going to be a Forge port to Unreal, meaning the Halo Infinite Forge to Unreal. Who knows? I think the biggest thing, though, switching game engines is an interesting thing. I think Gage has talked about it in positivity towards it in the past. You know, Unreal Engine is one of the biggest engines out there. A lot of developers know it. It's easy to work with. I think there is a danger with switching engines, though, because when you have an established franchise like this, are you able to get that same feeling of that game franchise in a different engine? Because you literally are building it from the ground up. You're not working with what's already there. I hope that they're able to do that. I don't know until we see it or play it, I guess. But yeah, I just hope they can actually deliver on that front. So I guess we'll see.
We'll see, but in a year's time, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it'll be
not anytime soon.
No.
Yeah.
So, moving on from there, Jason Schreier's got some more reports for us that yesterday an EA has canceled a single-player Titanfall/Apex universe single-player game, and this sucks because a lot of people were hoping for this. So yeah. Codename was Titanfall Legends, and it had a development team of 50 developers who will now be moved to other projects or laid off.
I saw a tweet yesterday. I'm sorry, Ro, please.
No, go for it.
I saw a tweet yesterday, someone praising EA, like how different they've been transforming over the years to be like, yeah, we have a lot of single player games coming out, and more than that, like Respawn needs more time to polish their product. We're gonna give them a couple more weeks, right? I'm kind of skipping ahead to another story here that I think you might have written down, but Jedi Survivor did get delayed. Sorry, Dan, I stole your quick bite.
Sorry,
and then the next day, here we go. They can't cancel an entire game for a fan favorite franchise like Titanfall, which is very sad because there's been a lot of vocal. Sure, we're probably a minority, but there's a lot of vocal people who would love to see another Titanfall game. Even if it is like mixed with the Apex universe. After all, the Apex universe is the Titanfall universe. It's in the Titanfall universe. Titanfall came first.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Crazy. I wonder why they did that, because like you said, Christian, I feel like Apex is so huge. Like it was such a hit when it first came out, and I feel like there's still a big community around it. And like you said, there is that community of people who love Titanfall. I feel like it's a win-win. You get both those crowds. Yeah, it's weird that they didn't continue with it. I don't even know do we know what kind of game this was? Was this like a mobile game maybe or something? Maybe that's why.
I don't think, from the impression I got, it was a fully fledged like single player game. Yeah, especially with 50 devs. Like surely that wouldn't be a mobile game. I wouldn't think, but who knows?
Weird. I wonder what caused them to shut it down. That's a weird one. It seems like an easy win for them, honestly, with those two franchises.
Indeed. And as Christian alluded to, Star Wars Jedi Survivor has been delayed 6 weeks to April 28th for additional polish. Respawn said for the last 3 years, the Jedi team here at Respawn has poured its collective heart and soul into Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and we are proud to say the next chapter in the tale of Cal Kestis is content complete. We are now focused entirely on the final stage, bug fixes to enhance performance stability, polish, and most importantly, the player experience. They go on to say a bunch more here, but that gives you the gist of it. And I think that we can agree, guys. This is going to turn this game into a 10 out of 10 game for my fantasy critic.
I don't know about all that, but it is very nice to get some space away from. So March previously, I had written down. This is for me. There's more games obviously coming out, but like this was the week before RE4 remake.
Ooh.
Like if I were to start Jedi Survivor, I would not have finished it before RE4, and I want to play RE4. Now I get to enjoy RE4 on my own pace, and boot up this at the end of April. But I have to be quick because Tears of the Kingdom is early May, or so we hope.
Oh yeah.
Also, this is a week after, or I think a week before. It's within a week of the Horizon DLC. So once again, rip to that universe.
They cannot catch a break.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, you hate to see that. And I'm glad you mentioned Resident Evil 4 remake, Christian. That's another game that's going to be a 10 out of 10 banger. Hey, I'm going to get all the.
You know, we hope so. We hope so.
Yes.
Well, what was the Dead Space Metacritic? Like 90, 89?
Oh, we'll get there, Christian. We'll get there.
RE4 remake is going to be like the same for sure.
Oh hell!
I'm sure you guys must have seen the new footage that released.
No.
Well, you probably don't want to see it. You like,
Yeah, I'll just play the game. Mm-hmm.
Wait, of RE4?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I don't think I've seen it either. Interesting.
Yeah, keep it that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Savor it. It looks good.
Nice.
It looks good.
Heck yes. Heck yes. All right. Moving in to our next quick bite. Far Cry 7 and Far Cry multiplayer projects are officially in the works at Ubisoft. Originally, I had this in Street Meat, but I don't think we really care about this that much, so I moved it here. So, yeah. Here we are. Far Cry 7 on the way. Ubi's going back to their bread and butter of their established franchise.
I guess. Not for me. I'm sorry. I haven't played a Far Cry game in forever.
Let's hope this multiplayer game isn't another battle royale, right?
Oh my god.
Oh, I mean that makes sense for Far Cry though. Like that could be interesting. I don't know if there's a fun take on that.
Right.
In this day and age, like we're on the verge of getting oversaturated with these things, as we'll discuss a bit later on. Remember when they did what was it, Blood Dragon?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the coolest thing they've ever done with Far Cry, and then they never did anything like that again.
Yeah.
I feel like they tried it with, what was that? The one with the twin sisters.
The horror one or thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
There might have been another one that I'm missing, but there was like a post-apocalyptic one with the two sisters that I'm trying to remember from Far Cry 6, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they brought back like all the villains or whatever from.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is neat, and like I wish they did more of that stuff.
Yeah.
And people wanted Far Cry Blood Dragon 2. They wanted that to come back in another game, and it never came. Never came. All right, guys. Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
All right. The last quick bite. The DC universe is about to change is incorporating video games into their plan, according to co-CEO James Gunn. I guess the DCU is attempting something not even Marvel is trying to do. That's the headline for IGN. I thought that was funny by Matt Kim. During a press conference, Gunn revealed, and what we're doing with the DCU is we are having animation tied directly into live action television and movies and games, all intertwined within the same universe. We're going to cast actors that are going to be able to play the characters in this as well as other things. This sets up a possible future where an actor cast in the DCU could potentially voice the same character in a video game. But incorporating video games into a cinematic universe is much easier said than done, considering not even Marvel and its Disney-backed power have attempted something similar. Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, because games take forever to make. So,
Yes.
like, if they plan to slot this into some arbitrary timeline, then this will 1000% not work. However, I watched the James Gunn video that the DC posted.
Yeah.
And the way he talked about it and the way they're approaching the writer's room for these is very much like, we just want to tell cool stories. Like, sure, these things are interconnected because they're all part of the DC universe, but like they feel much more like individual. If that's the case, then whoever they cast as Superman comes in and voices a few lines for whatever game, for the Wonder Woman game that Monolith is making, that could work. It's still in universe, but
True.
Yeah, If it's like on the MCU timeline, I don't know about all that, Chief. Personally,
Yeah, I get a little worried for the same reason as well. I don't know if it's like, I mean, maybe it is Marvel just hasn't attempted it, but I also think it might be Marvel doesn't want to do it either. Like they have their Marvel Cinematic Universe and that works, and their Insomniac stuff is working, and their Midnight Suns and all that kind of stuff. There's no reason to connect it. DC is obviously just trying something a little bit different, and we'll see if it pays off. It could be cool, but I don't know. Right now, I'm curious to see how it would work, because right now it's hard for me to imagine it all connecting in a seamless way. It seems like it'll be hard to pull off.
Christian, are you going to say something?
The worst thing they can do is do the Marvel route, where like you have to watch this thing,
Right?
this TV series to understand our subsequent movies. If they do that with the games, they're fucked. I'm sorry, because I won't. I refuse to do that.
Well,
I don't want my fun to be work.
The other thing is it's like games are already difficult enough for developers to make. Imagine a development studio trying to work with another development studio making two different games, and they somehow got to make those work together. Like, yeah, that's going to be interesting. If it works, it could be cool, but yeah, I don't know. Seems a little optimistic.
Yeah. The Flash is almost here. Apparently, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's
despite all things, the Flash is almost here. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see his tweet, Christian? Where was it a tweet, bro, that he said that James Gunn said that The Flash is one of the best superhero movies he's ever seen?
I think it was in the actual video he said that, but it might have been a tweet
the CEO
as well.
of DC says he likes his own movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's not even his movie, but I was surprised.
Well,
like,
you know what
why
I mean?
would,
yeah.
But like, why would he say that? Like,
yeah, he doesn't have.
He's not gonna say it's
that's fair.
ass.
right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Insane.
I'm actually sure the movie's fine. It got very positive feedback from screeners. Not that means anything,
Right.
but
yeah. Good luck, DC.
Yes.
I mean, James. What's this? James Gunn. I already forgot his name. He's a cool dude. So hopefully this all works out. But as I think we're all on the same page, we're kind of skeptical right now.
Sure.
Indeed. Into the street meat. Let's beat up some dead meat.
Jesus.
I don't know. 12
violent.
12 minutes of Horizon multiplayer alpha footage has leaked. This is, of course, the next game coming from Guerrilla, reportedly. And it has people making a lot of comparisons to Fortnite with its cartoony look. And of course, it's been known for a minute that Guerrilla is working on this. The Netherlands-based studio announced back in December 2022 that a new internal team is hard at work on an online project featuring a new cast of characters and a unique stylized look. Yeah, I did not see this until you sent this to us, Christian, and I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm not sure what is this?
I guess it's alpha, so like,
yeah,
any video is gonna look like, I don't know, but it doesn't look fun from what we're seeing, and the characters look pretty uninspired. I mean, given with the comparison to Fortnite, on their own, like, sure, they do look like very cool characters, and they look kind of in universe, but I don't know. Something about it just feels a bit generic, and like I kind of question who is this for. I don't know. Sony multiplayer projects are pretty often hit or miss, and they're most often misses. The hits are few and far between, and they've canceled and gone away with a lot of their hits from the past. I'm looking at SOCOM, Killzone. Those are gone. So like they're trying to do new stuff, and this does not look very appealing, at least to me. And it seems like a lot of people on Twitter are feeling the same. I would want to see more of like a finished product to see like what there is to do beyond just like, remember crafting in Horizon? You could do that now, but with other people in the world around you. It's like, okay, well, what else can we do? Are there quests? Again, it's gonna take time before we see something like a presentation. But so far, I'm not impressed from these leaks.
Yeah, it's kind of like the GTA. Well, it's not like the GTA leak, but it's in the similar vein of like, this is what video games look while they're being developed. It's not pretty,
right?
And I think that's something that should be said before we rip into it.
Sure.
But I think it's worth to rip into it as well at the same breath, because it doesn't look super inspired, as Christian was saying. The art style doesn't make it feel like Horizon to me at all, and I don't know. I mean, it's fun to like expand on the universe and stuff, but I feel like when you take it to a certain degree, it just becomes like it's not that anymore. And I'm kind of getting that vibe from the art style of this. And I think the art style is really cool. It just doesn't fit in the Horizon universe for me. But I guess, again, we have to see more. This is super early stuff. I'm sure the people who are making on this wasn't expecting this to be on Twitter's timeline right now, but here we are. Yeah, I don't know if I'm interested to see more when it comes. I'll look at it, but yeah, from what we're seeing here,
I'll look at it.
What we're seeing here is like, okay, this just looks like a game I've played before, but in the Horizon universe, and I don't want to do that.
And like, what are you
Absolutely.
doing in this game? Like, what? That's what I'm confused about. Like, what is this game
Yeah.
gonna be like
I think it was like,
structurally?
did they say it was like Monster Hunter vibes or something?
Oh, okay. I could see that.
I guess, yeah. But like, that's not why people play Horizon, though. People,
Right.
Yeah.
praise it for its like sci-fi story. I have problems with its quest writing, but like, whatever. That's just me. It's widely, it's the story content that people are drawn into Horizon, and the gorgeous graphics from the Decima engine. Again, like Rose said, like we're not going to be talking about graphics at this point, but for art style, yeah, it does like look very unappealing, and it doesn't feel like Horizon, which is great from you, Ro. Like you're right, doesn't feel like Horizon, but yeah.
Tyler is in the chat. I apologize, I missed your comment. So many release dates are delayed this year. Yeah, it's the delays of video games
I've
constantly.
only just begun.
Mhm. Sorry, James Gunn's DC.
Well, but you may be saying sorry to James Gunn's DCU,
Oh my
but
God.
welcome to the PXN News of the Week, where we are introducing the TRU, the Tomb Raider universe, Christian.
Oh, no.
The TRGU?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, not games. It's
Yeah.
keep going.
There you go. Yeah, so apparently Amazon has reportedly bought the rights to the Tomb Raider franchise from Embracer Group, which is our first story to go along with this. And that's for a cool $600 million. And that's after Embracer Group bought literally Crystal Dynamics,
Mhm.
Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal, and all of their IP for only $300 million. How are these people making a profit and keeping all most
other
of the
ones,
stuff? Yeah.
That's
What
too
the-
funny, dude.
That
That's
is
too funny.
insane.
That's on Square for just fumbling, absolutely fumbling.
They didn't value their franchise properly, clearly. Insane. But also, to, add to our TRU, Christian, Fleabag star Phoebe Waller-Bridge is writing a new Tomb Raider series for Amazon. I know Christian loves these cinematic universes. That's why I keep saying Christian.
Well, like when I saw this news, I was like, the first thing I saw was like Phoebe Waller-Bridge is writing a Tomb Raider like series. I'm like, word? Oh, that could be sick. And then I keep reading, and it's like, and they're wanting to do a Marvel like cinematic universe. I'm like, what does that fucking mean for Tomb Raider? What are they gonna? Who else are they adding? What's
Some of
going
the other
on?
characters that you're
Why?
talking about.
And why? Why are we doing this? Not everything needs to be the fucking MCU anymore. I'm sorry. I got angry. Sorry, I
Oh my
apologize.
God. It's crazy how one universe has ruined everybody else doing that thing just because they've gone on for so long. But yeah, I get it. It's like we've had enough of it, even though we've had it from one company. It's just weird. But yeah, sorry.
It just like I'm already tired and the show isn't even out yet. I know
I know.
nothing about it and I'm already exhausted.
It could be cool. It could be cool. It is weird when they say that.
Yes.
I wish they would just release the show sometimes. Just not right off the bat, but like without too much information. You don't need the whole synopsis just yet. Just let us digest it when it comes, and maybe it's on us for getting angry so soon. But when you say words like this, we have reactions like this.
Yeah, exactly.
But Phoebe Waller-Bridge is awesome. Fleabag is awesome. So that fills me with confidence. And then, as Christian said, with the whole connected universe thing, you just like bring me back down a little bit after that. So you like stop while you're ahead. Stop while you're ahead. Just stop at Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Fleabag Tomb Raider. I'm sold. All right, let's do it.
The the interesting part for me, guys, this is the best part. Amazon is purchasing Tomb Raider. There's got to be like a twist on words there, like Tomb Raider in the forest, the jungle, the Amazon. Get it? Amazon.
Oh, now I do.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but apparently also, in addition to everything you guys said, they're also counting on a new movie and at least one additional video game, which I don't know if they mean one additional video game to what Crystal's already making or if they're just meaning Crystal's project. So, yeah, that's interesting.
Great. Is Alicia Vikander coming back for the Tomb Raider movie? Probably not. Is Camila Luddington coming back for the other Tomb Raider game that's supposed to be interconnected in this universe? Who the fuck knows?
She's going to walk through a portal and then be pulled into the TRU. Sorry.
I'm angry, dude. I'm going to stop talking about this.
All right. Sorry, bro.
No, I'm still kind of bummed that we didn't get another Tomb Raider 2 after... I don't. What did you just say? That? Oh, yeah, Alicia
Vikander. Yeah.
It wasn't good. I liked it though. I enjoyed my time with it.
You said that so happy. It wasn't good. I agree, but I still enjoyed my time watching it as well. I saw it in theater.
I would like.
This is perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler has a great idea. Kratos could come in to hunt some tombs with her because Amazon is doing that too.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it's all. Yep. Makes sense now. All right, we'll stop, Christian. PSVR 2 news. We've got some news here on some projections and production.
This is so funny. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Bloomberg has reported that Sony has reduced projections for the initial launch of PlayStation VR 2, which is very interesting. Sony had previously aimed to have 2 million headsets ready for the launch quarter and leverage its second generation headset to drive user growth and adoption for VR. The company now has plans to ship around 1.5 million units between this April and March next year. They added, though, that figure may be adjusted further in response to demand. Sony went against this, saying Sony officially said that it has not cut PlayStation VR 2 production numbers, denying the Bloomberg report. So, like, all these things are, like, flowing through my head, and Tom Warren pointed this out. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but he said it's worth pointing out that having forecasts for PSVR 2 shipments isn't the same as cutting PSVR 2 production numbers. So Sony isn't fully denying the Bloomberg report by saying this. So no matter what, I think the interesting thing is going to be how much interest there is at launch for this thing, because Sony's got to deliver some interest really, really quickly.
Okay, my turn to speak.
Yes.
I have the sharing ball, whatever. All right. There's one counter argument to be made that I've seen floating around, which is valid, and that pre-orders are still limited to Sony's own website, where you have to sign up to get information and then be like, okay, you can now sign up to pre-order one of these things. So naturally, with that sort of like approach, there is going to be less numbers to project because less people know about this or are, wanting to do this kind of pre-order. If it was like just at stores, maybe that would have been higher, but that's a big maybe, and that's like something I can't argue against because we literally don't know what that would have looked like. All that aside, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If that's the case, because like, let's be real, this thing comes out this month, and Sony has done like the bare minimum to market it with no state of play, with a lackluster lineup for a launch premium headset that costs just as much as the console itself. What do you expect? Sony? Like, yeah, of course people, like, no one knows and nobody cares. Maybe if you had some like decent quality like games beyond just Horizon Call of the Wild, which does look pretty great, but is that going to sell units on its own? We've already talked about this. Absolutely not. You need a lot more games. You need to port over your a lot more from PSVR 1 into PSVR 2, if not backwards compatibility. And make sure like other games are going to be on this, like Half-Life Alyx, like that's a huge one, or like more. I mean, it doesn't have to be Half-Life Alyx, that'd be huge, but like other kinds of partnerships.
PlayStation Plus
for now.
Let's-
Yeah, dude, that'd be great for it. Yeah, to
Yeah.
get VR games as well, that'd be
Yeah.
fantastic. But nothing like that is happening. So of course you're going to see low numbers because it doesn't feel like Sony's invested. So why should the consumer?
Yeah. Just to piggyback off of like, what did you expect, Sony, and what you just said about the computers only being tied to their website? I didn't know that, but like that makes so much sense, and it's just like you did that. Sony made that choice. It's like it's not
Yeah.
even like we're not trying to find it. You only have it linked to your site. Like if you had it in more places and we're explaining where you can pre-order a little bit more, then maybe the numbers would be higher like you expected, and there'd be more. Like I remember when they said that like we expect these, like I guess this is what the article is referencing, that they expected like this huge number of PSVR 2s to be out in the wild, and they're making this many, and now they're apparently cutting back. But it's like you could have made that many if you kind of showed it off a little bit more. But
Yeah, because they're kind of banking on the thing selling itself,
Mhm.
which is not how this is going to work. No.
Yeah. Oh boy, Sony.
Yeah, not good. I think that's
Mm.
it's a real concern right now. And how long are they going to support it if it's not going to get the numbers that they need for install base? Ugh.
Mm.
They're at a weird impasse where it's like, okay, let's see how this thing does at launch, and then decide how to support it afterwards. So it's like,
Yeah,
the consumer's like, well, let's see if they support it before we buy
Right.
it. That's like,
endless loop. Yeah,
mm-hmm,
Not to mention the price as well. That was also
yeah, absolutely.
a tough thing to chew down on. Fight on.
has there ever been a successful peripheral that's like this expensive on console? I feel like there's not ever been. Like, Kinect was all like 149, PlayStation
I mean,
Move.
Probably the Elite controller, if you want to count that as a peripheral,
That's fair. Yeah.
maybe.
But even that's only what 150.
Mm.
So yeah. It's just a
Yeah,
large ass.
I'm thinking Nintendo, obviously, with like Wii Motion Plus, which would come include, or like the steering wheel, but those came included with games, and really people are buying that for the games themselves and not the actual peripheral. So
Right.
yeah, you're kind of hard pressed to think of answers to that question, which is a good question.
Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, guys. Let's move into our fantasy draft check-in. We got a release. I wonder who got a release. That's
Gosh
right.
darn it.
That's right. Dan got a release. Dead Space remake has come out, and it is a 90 on OpenCritic, which means I've got 20 points on the board to start the year, gents. Let's go.
Huge.
Let's go.
Should we talk about what Gage did over the week?
Yes, we should. Yes, that's absolutely. So Gage
no.
drafted his 5 games like the rest of us. Then the man went out and started trying to, God love him, he went out and tried to get a bunch of games. And I'd be proud of him if he had listened to the rules and kind of paid attention to the rules, Gage. If you're listening to us right now. Because the man spent all of his money. He's got $6 left, guys. $6.
Yeah, for reference, we each had $100 to buy games for the rest of the year, and each game minimum bid I think was $4 per game.
Yep.
And he was betting like $20 to $30 per title. So he went through his money fast, and he has now $6 to get 6 games spaces left, which is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Statistically, or mathematically, it is not possible.
So let's just talk about what he did here. He picked up Hogwarts Legacy with a bid of $39, which I told him.
God.
I told him none of us were gonna bid on that. I don't think for at least for that much. $39.
I can counterpick it now, though.
That's true. Absolutely. Minecraft Legends with a bid of $20. My God. I guess he heard me and Ro like talking highly of it. He's like, man, I gotta get this before they get it. Like, I don't think we're bidding $20 for that. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty with a $20 bid. This one he did steal from me because I had put in a bid for this as well, but I only bid $4 because I'm not a madman. He replaced with a bid of $15. And then this is where it starts to go downhill for him, because he tried to acquire Assassin's Creed Mirage with a bid of $20, but he ran out of money. He bid too much on everything.
Isn't it not working?
Yeah. So with him failing to pick up Assassin's Creed Mirage, I actually also put in a bid for Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I got it for $4.
I bid from him.
Let's go.
Damn.
And then he also tried to pick up Dead Island 2 with a bid of $7. He only had $6 left to spend, so he didn't get that either. I also picked up, in addition to Assassin's Creed Mirage, Stalker 2, part of Chernobyl, for $4. Alan Wake 2 for a bid of $4. Octopath Traveler 2 for a bid of $4. And Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores for $4. All of those $4 each, Gage.
Goodness
That's how you do
it. Dan's already going for the win here. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But my goodness,
I haven't even opened the website since we did it.
We're going.
I made a bid earlier this week, so hopefully next week I'll have something added to my list.
Heck yeah.
None of you stole it.
No, I haven't put in any bids in this week.
Okay.
I guess I shouldn't be giving you that insider knowledge. I put in lots of bids for lots of money.
Lots of games. Yeah.
Spend all your money, bro. Anywho, yeah, we all need counter picks still. Look out for those.
Lots of games to choose from now.
Yeah. Moving into our TLU timeout, guys. The Last of Us Season 2 has been confirmed and will follow the events of the second game. Seemingly, apparently, it's Craig Mazin, right? He said it would be split into 2 seasons. So
yeah,
as long as it does well still, I'm assuming then we'll get a season 3 as well. So yeah, good news.
They can barely squeeze the first game into 1 season, so it's very much expected the second one is split in 2. It's also, the second game is also written very much like a TV show, so this makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's
of course, Hallie Gross, TV show writer.
Super excited for that.
Indeed. And the Last of Us audience also has grown for the third consecutive week, becoming HBO's 4th current series, averaging 15 plus million viewers per episode. Dang, that's a lot of people.
Insane. Good for them.
Absolutely. So let's move into episode 3 reactions, guys. Long time. A lot of people are going to be lauding this, or they already have been for the last several days. What an episode that was, guys. Your reaction.
Who's going first?
You just saying the title, long time, gave me chills. Just you uttering those words was like, oh God, taking me back. But yeah, that was an incredible episode. Me and Gage were talking about it. I think I could just honestly just read what I said here and just get it over with. But it was such a great take on Bill without making him a different character. It was like, here, I'll just read it. I loved it. I really felt like Bill. I really liked this Bill. Frank and Bill's relationship was so great. I like how in the game, Bill's advice to Joel for survival was staying alone. And in this show, his advice for him was that people like them have to protect those worth protecting. And that may help living in this hell worth it. And I thought that was really cool that they went a different route, but it still felt like Bill. And Frank and Bill's story was so beautifully told. I cried like at least twice, I think, watching that episode. The first time was when they were playing the piano, and the second time was obviously when it was Frank's last day. But it was, I'm just going to gush about it, so I'm just going to hand it over to Christian, and maybe I'll be able to form some better thoughts.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I cried 3 times, and there's a lot of places for me to start, but
dude,
you go. Okay, you have something else you want to get out, please.
It's just the fact that Bill found Frank in the first place, like how he was alone before the apocalypse, alone years during the apocalypse, and the first person he happens to find is also a gay person, and they have a beautiful relationship, and Bill's first time with a man is with this man, and they're in bed, and it's so beautiful, it's so cute, and he's like, have you done this before? And it's like with the girl, it's like, okay, let's take this slow. We'll do the normal stuff. It's like, I love this for Bill. I don't know. I just love that scene. It was so well done. You don't usually see that stuff done well in TV or movies, so it was really cool to see.
You don't get a lot of like real romantic homosexual depictions in media, and when they do, like, there's a lot of like stuff surrounding it, like, you know, Disney having gay characters, but they don't want to market their movies, so they flop and stuff. And this is like a premiere HBO show that has been growing with every new episode, and they drop like one of the best homosexual like love stories that we've seen in a long time. And it is up there for like one of the best. It's really good. Well, I tweeted about how The Last of Us, the game, I think is very clearly about love. And this episode finally understands like the core themes of The Last of Us and puts them on display in a story that like is vastly expanded from the game. Like, people are going to be asking like, is this better than the game? I don't think that's the right question. I think that kind of devalues a little bit of like what this is doing. I think it's just different, and that's okay. Because what we got is like phenomenal. This is the first episode that I think justifies the existence of the TV show, because it's playing to TV show's strength and not just adapting the game into like a passive format for us, right? And I'm surprised that there's a 2-hour cut of this that just like didn't make it. I would love it if they release some kind of DVD package after the season ends and they have this kind of extended cut. I think I would love to see that. And like the writing was fantastic, dude. Like, it gave us space with them. It gave us, people have said like it's like an entire season of a show in the space of an hour. And what they really gave us was like a scene that combats the giraffe scene from the game. If you haven't played the game, then I'll just stop there. But the giraffe scene, like the strawberry scene, hurts.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful and it's great. Like what Nick Offerman did, and I'm forgetting Frank's actor's name, but they just knocked it out of the park. It was a beautiful episode.
And like everything you guys said, I echo all those sentiments. And in addition to that, like, I kind of got another little bit of a fake out, which I liked. Kind of like the first, the first episode, they did that fake out with the car crash. They kind of did that again, where they had their little blow up fight, and I was like, all right, I think I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna go badly. And then it changed. They changed that completely. So I thought that was really cool. That. And that's the stuff that I told you guys before this started, that I wanted to see difference, like pretty decent sized differences. And I think this is delivering those big differences. I even put in our chat that I was like, I was that person saying like, I don't know if this is better than the game adaptation, but like you said, Christian, it's different. It's just different. Like, they're two different things, which I absolutely appreciate that. And, yeah, I'm very thankful that they're doing more changes than what I initially thought they were going to do, like, you know, when it was first announced.
I saw a lot of people complaining that like, oh, this isn't Bill. I wanted to see Bill and Ellie like have their, you know, their back and forth. Well, guess what? You can still have that. You can still go back and play the game. Like, that still exists for you. Yeah. You know,
and
let other people go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, and that I would say that is a fair criticism of this episode, where I don't feel like their relationship impacts Joel and Ellie as much as, you know, the games did. I would say, you know, the events of the game, Bill definitely affects Joel and Ellie in a much more physical way. Like, since you meet Bill and you experience what Bill experienced Frank, you know, doing what he did. I'm trying not to spoil it if people want to play the game, but obviously, like, I feel like that experience, you're not getting through the lens of Joel and Ellie. You're not getting as impactful experience for them as us as the viewer. I think it's a more impactful experience, it's just an interesting conversation. I think.
I would say like the impact that Bill is leaving on Joel in the show though is different than the game.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not even the same type of impact that. Yeah, it's completely different advice as well. Like, Bill is like, don't fuck with this girl, just stay alone. And in this game, it's like protect Tess, but Tess is already gone, so protect, I guess, Ellie in this case, and whoever else may be special to you, which is completely different than what Bill in the game would say. And I love Bill in the game, and I think Bill's advice in the game is sound for that world as well. It's just how they told this story. It just makes more sense for him, unfortunately, to die and pass on that letter, and that impact is different, but it's still an impact, I think, on Ellie and Joel, but just not as you said, as physical.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that what you just said like reinforces the entire themes of the game Last of Us, and even last episode, Save What You Can Save, and the DLC to the Last of Us game, the Left Behind, which is, let's be all poetic about it, die on our own terms. Look at the way this episode ended. One of my friends who just picked up a PS5, I think a week and a half ago, who bought a bunch of games for the first time that he's excited to play. He bought T-Lu Part 1. He's going to buy Part 2. The God of War games, Spider-Man, etc. And he decided to watch this series before starting the game, which is going to be interesting, I think, after the fact, to see those differences. But he texted me after he watched the episode Monday, going, he said, "That was unbelievable. I'm a wreck right now. I haven't cried like that, and I don't even know how long. Like, this episode had a deep impact on him. And he's not even a game player. He's just a person who just enjoys, like, quality TV. And that was quality TV. My only criticism, just because we're still on it, is that I am enjoying... Oh, God. What is her name? Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
I am enjoying Bella Ramsey's performance. I still question the writing of Ellie herself, because as we talked about in the DMs, like, it feels like her survivor's guilt is very much not present in it. And we still got a glimpse of that in the beginning of episode 3. I'm like, okay, you have 6 more episodes to see where this goes, but so far I'm like, I don't know if I like this version of Ellie more. And if they're like doing that to set up the events of season 2, then that kind of sucks, because I think like Ellie in season 1 has a very like dynamic path that she follows that makes what the events happen in season 2 much more tragic and reinforces that own theme in that game, which is a separate discussion. But it only works because of the route she went in season 1. And if they're kind of setting up this more like violent, darker thing for Ellie, then I'm not sure T-Lu 1 hits as hard, or I guess this version, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I think the other problem is like, like you're saying, like The Last of Us Part 2 takes place like years later, so Ellie's a completely different person than, what she was in Part 1 in the game. So, like, it makes sense for her to be a very different character. So, yeah.
Next week we might see her actually pull the trigger too, with how she stole the gun at the end, and it being with all the raiders and stuff. That might be in a situation where she needs to pull it out. But there was a line in this at the beginning where she was talking to Joel about the scar on his forehead, I think, and he's like, "How'd that happen?" And it's like, "Somebody shot at me." It's like, "See, that's cool." It's like, I mean, it is cool, but it does definitely feed into what Christian's saying. Is like she's really into this violent stuff, and I don't know why. Yeah.
Indeed. Gage says in the chat, fans of the game understand the importance of episode 3, but I've heard opinions from people who only watched the show that this felt like a filler episode. He said, I think that's fair, even though I obviously disagree. And I could see that. I think that's because they're there for one episode. Right.
Filler doesn't mean shit when like it's directly in dialogue with the themes of the show, of The Last of Us, just because it doesn't like focus on the actual characters of Joel and Ellie,
right,
doesn't mean it isn't reinforcing those themes at all. So I would disagree with the whole concept of filler episode personally.
Fair. And I think the flashback with Joel and Tess very well set up that connection that they have with them, and made sense for them to get to that point in the story. Like Joel saying, "We got to go here because I know that this guy's here. He can help us." Yeah. And then, of course, it's tragic when like, oh, Bill's not here. Well, he is here, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Left the window open.
Yeah.
And we get the window shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. So good.
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, it's not a long, long time until episode 4.
Dan, stop it, please. I'm gonna cry again.
Moving in to what you got for me. I've been playing a lot of stuff, guys. I'm so happy that I'm actually completing games this year. This is the year of completing games. Completing games for me. I started a little.
Sure?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm killing it. I have a list already of multiple that I've beaten this year. I'm happy.
He's doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Hi-Fi Rush, I started about an hour and a half or so into it. Very much enjoying it. I'll let other people who have played, I'm not going to spoil who are probably well more versed to talk about it as they've played much more than me. But I'm very much enjoying it thus far. Going to be excited to go back to that this week. But I beat GoldenEye 007, the re-release, just for the nostalgia. And my God, can I just say, I never want to play that again. Like, that was, that was cool for the nostalgia factor, but those missions are terribly structured. And I mean, half the time I didn't even know what I was doing because it doesn't like give you any information. It's basically throwing you into a level and saying good luck. Like, what are you supposed to do? Who knows?
Gamers are so spoiled these days. They need quest markers. Come on.
I do. I do very much so. There was a couple missions I literally had to look up on YouTube because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm reading the objectives and it doesn't make sense. Nothing I'm doing is making sense.
That was me in Halo, so I can only imagine
that's true.
playing this.
That's fair. That is fair. So yeah, I beat that. And then more importantly, I have beaten Dead Space Remake as well. And yes, beaten all 14 hours I've put into this game. I did every side mission, everything. I love this game. I freaking love the remake. It's a really good remake. Very happy with it. Thank you, EA Motive, for doing this. Yeah, I'm super excited if they do a Dead Space 2 remake, and maybe they'll do like a Dead Space 3 redo because nobody wants Dead Space 3 again, of course. But yeah, very good game. It feels so good too, like the controls, because I remember replaying Dead Space not that long ago, like a few years ago, and it was very clunky, nowadays. Like there's certain elements that I really love. The plasma cutter, such a good weapon, always the first weapon I fully upgrade. Oh, it just feels so good. I'm so happy that they did a great job with this remake. So yeah. Ro, what you got for me?
Yes. Oh, I'll start off with the other two before getting into Hi-Fi Rush, because those will be quicker. But for Tales of Arise, I told you guys about it in the chat. So I'm like 40 hours into this game, and I come up upon the what I thought was the final boss. They've been hyping up this guy this entire time. His name is Volron. That sounds like a final boss name. He looks like a final boss. The fight feels like a final boss fight, and I beat him. And I'm like, okay, like that felt climactic enough. But there's a couple loose ends here. Maybe they'll explain it in a cutscene. And a cutscene happens, and then this random person shows up, and a bunch of crazy shit happens, and this guy says, "It's only just begun." What do you mean it's only just begun? I've been playing for 40 hours. What do you mean? And yeah, there's a lot more game to play. I'm happy about it, but that was like, it was like, what the hell? And it was a good twist, but at the same time, it was like, I've been playing this game for 40 hours. What do you mean there's more? But yeah, it's a good time, so I don't mind. The other game that I've been playing is A Space for the Unbound. I told you guys about it a little while ago. I finished the first chapter today, and it was good already, but it definitely got its twist now. Like something happened where it's like, okay, I need to keep playing. I understand the hook of this now, and I want to see what happens with these characters and this world. So it's only getting better from where I started. So I'm excited to see more. And of course, Hi-Fi Rush, the fantastic game by Tango Gameworks, I think is the studio's name. But yeah, it's a fantastic game, and it's a 3D action game, I guess you could describe it. And you are fighting to the beat. And it's like a bunch of cool rock songs. Some are licensed songs from like Nine Inch Nails and other cool artist as well. But it's such a stylish game. And I beat it now, and the boss battles just keep getting better and better. It's like when you beat a boss, you're like, that was awesome, and you go to the next level. It's like, okay, that was awesome, and it just keeps getting better and better as you progress through the worlds. And I generally had a blast playing it from front to end. There wasn't like any slow parts for me. I just like enjoyed moving around in the open areas, like finding side stuff to do as well. But the combat is definitely where it shines. It's just super fun to get a bunch of chain combos off and upgrade your character, which is Chai. And the characters as well, I guess, is the most important thing. And the writing is fantastic. And just everything just like feeds off of each other and makes it all a fantastic experience. So like it's really great work by Tango Games and something that you wouldn't have expected until now. So I'm glad that they were able to kind of spread their wings and do something a little bit different.
Heck yeah. Different is the important thing. Like that's really cool. I hope Microsoft continues allowing their teams to do that.
Yeah, it was awesome. I feel like replaying it, honestly. It was so good.
Christian, what you got for me?
Dude, I've been fighting the Dead Space remake FOMO so hard. But like I said, I told you, I'm not buying it until it's on sale. Because I'm busy. I'm busy right now with other stuff and other projects. I don't know. If I were to start playing Dead Space, I'd just do that and not do the other stuff that I'm working on.
That's fair.
I did start Hi-Fi Rush the night it came out. I played like an hour and a half. I was like, this is fun. I never started it again. It's still on my PC though, so I probably will go back when I'm free. Doing projects is hard sometimes, man. I'm gonna say this publicly to Ro, just because Ro will get it. The thing that I'm working on, which you guys know, I'm approaching the finalization of part 1, and it is like just as long as the entirety of the Solarpunk video, and I'm like, wow.
Oh wow.
This is dense work, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's also really difficult. Yeah. So I've been just working at that and the large popcorn stuff, and then every now and then you got to squabble up on Fortnite with the lads for whatever reason. Catch a few dubs, and I sent you guys a video of what I ate an edible on Saturday and had like the most anime ending to a Fortnite match I could have ever had. It rocked. So
if you posted that on YouTube, I feel like it would go viral. At least the ending part.
Dude,
that was insane.
Discord chat was insane. I have like all this adrenaline I don't know what to do with, and everyone's like popping off. I'm silent because I'm high.
God,
it's breathing all hard.
Incredible.
I after watching that, I was like, I gotta get into this. Like when Fortnite changes again, it was like, you lost. Were you there during the All Might era? It's like, no, I missed it. It's like I need to be there for the Deku Smash era of Fortnite before it's gone.
They added the Kamehameha last night. The Kameyamamas, they're back.
Dude,
so now it's the Smashes versus the Kamehamehas. It's crazy. Why am I playing this? Why am I playing Fortnite in 2023, dude? I could be playing Dead Space and A Space for the Unbound, but I'm playing fucking Fortnite. I can't stop.
I need to pull you guys into build mode and we can have a trio.
No, I'm good.
No.
Oh, come on.
If I'm playing Fortnite, it's no build. No.
That was my favorite part about Fortnite was the building. I loved that.
Well, you enjoy that.
Feels the same.
Yeah. Anywho, let's move into the topic of the show, guys. Live services are all over the place. The destruction of them are inevitable? ? Let's talk about a couple of stories first before we get into that. Respawn has announced that they are sunsetting Apex Legends Mobile. They said they may bring it back to mobile in the future in some format without their current mobile development partner, Lightspeed Studio, which I believe is owned by Tencent, if I remember correctly. And they also announced that they are not offering refunds for in-game purchases, citing the EA EULA, so EULA, as the reasoning for this. So not great news for people who are playing on mobile, of course. Usually mobile players are like younger kids, at least in the US. So that is kind of unfortunate that they're basically saying, sorry, you're out of luck here if you bought anything for Apex Mobile. So yeah.
I feel like I'll be more forgiving of that if they let you transfer over to like the regular one, but I don't think they're even doing that. So yeah, that really sucks.
Indeed.
It's all gone now.
All that money.
Yeah.
Too much money. We also got news on the same story that Battlefield Mobile is also shutting down, as well as Industrial Toys, who is the developer of Battlefield Mobile. So a bunch of layoffs there. You hate to see that, of course, coming on the backs of all the other layoffs we've gotten lately from Microsoft and others as well. So yeah, definitely dire situation there for EA on the mobile front. I wonder if it's just a changing tide or if maybe it's too much ongoing support for all these projects. You can't handle 20 million different projects going on at one time, I guess. I mean, this is a lot going on for just mobile. I don't know. And then one more story before we dive into some of these thoughts. Rumbleverse is shutting down after only 6 months. The game will go offline at the end of February, which is season 2 will be the last season for the game. That is a wild statement right there. And maybe indicative of, again, too many live services trying to compete with one another. There's only a certain amount of mind share, I guess, that you can have from that. Other live service games, I just wanted to list these real quick that have shut down or had major issues recently, in addition to the ones we just talked about. Babylon's Fall, the servers are shutting down this month. Marvel Avengers end of support is coming. Anthem has end of support. Splitgate has end of support. Of course, Halo Infinite, we've talked about their troubled first year. Hopefully they're on the upswing this year. But yeah, like all these issues with these ongoing live service games, like it does bring up some interesting questions. Like, at what point is there too many live services where people can't play all of these live services? Obviously, Destiny is a huge live service that Bungie seems to do a really great job at keeping a decent base of people that allows them to continue doing that. But like these other studios, is there too many? There too many?
You say Destiny is huge, and it is, but like, let's be real. They play the story content for a week, and then they get raid ready, and then the raid drops. And then suddenly a month has gone by, and it's like, wow, we're still doing the same thing, and we're not happy with what we're doing in Destiny anymore. What are we gonna do? I guess just hold off until the next expansion, and then rinse repeat. To answer your question, like, is this the end of live service? Was that what you said at the beginning?
Yeah, the destruction, I guess, of live service.
Is this the destruction of live service? I mean, obviously not. I think is the answer.
Yeah.
Right. Like, there's always going to be some kind of multiplayer game that exists and that people are going to gravitate to. It's going to shift around a lot, and we never know what's going to hit with audiences. But there is always going to be something. I think that, like, you're right that people are getting tired of having, like you said, like mind share. People don't want to have people don't want a bunch of jobs to do in their free time that they have to juggle, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't help but think of like Knockout City, which was an supremely unique game and so fun. But like, let's be real, like after the first 2 weeks, like where did that go? Is it still getting support? I don't even know, to be honest. I didn't know Rumbleverse was still getting support, and it blows that it's going to end, but like that's the reality. Even the big games like Warzone 2 is still massively suffering because people didn't like the new changes. And now they're changing everything back to Warzone 1, and people are still unhappy because, like, well, what's the point of having Warzone 2? It's just the same as Warzone 1. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't. It's like, what? I don't know. Like, what is the answer?
Yeah. It's interesting to, like, look at the ones that are quote-unquote successful, like Rocket League, I guess, might be a good example.
Yo!
Destiny, I would say is a good example, but I do agree with what Christian's saying about, like, the community is like stuck in a love-hate relationship loop with it, myself included, where it's like, yes, I can't wait for Lightfall, and then Lightfall comes around and I love it, and then a couple weeks later it's like, God, why am I doing this? Why am I grinding for a gun so I can go do an activity to get the next gun? And I guess that's kind of the whole point of most live service games, is to play to get the next thing. But as Christian said, it kind of feels like a job after a while, depending on the game. But still, there are successful ones like Destiny and Rocket League, and I kind of scratch my head to like, what are they doing so
Fortnite.
different that the other ones are not? And I feel like the other ones are trying to copy those games, but they're just not. I guess it is really down to that mind share that you're talking about. There's already so much that is consuming us, that we like so much already, that we're not going to give up our time to try something new that's already so similar to what we already like. So you have to do something different to stand out, and a lot of people aren't trying something different. They're just doing the same thing because they see that same thing working, and they're not kind of experimenting enough.
Yeah, and they're all looking for 100% of people's mind share, like you were saying, both of you were saying. If every single developer is looking for 100% of people's mind share, like there's no room left for other stuff. Like, and that was kind of like what I was running into last year with Halo Infinite. I was grinding it so much, which it's not to say that I didn't enjoy it, because I love Halo Infinite and I love playing it, but like me playing it so much to get every single weekly ultimate reward every week was meaning I was suffering and being able to complete other things, as you guys know, because many weeks went by last year where I said, yeah, didn't complete anything again because I spent so much of my time in Halo Infinite, which, to their credit, now I am glad 343 has made changes to the way their battle or their weekly ultimate reward works, where they're significantly easier to do now and half as many challenges that you have to complete. So I get those done in no time now. And that's the kind of stuff I love seeing from these live services. Give us easier ways to acquire these new things each week, or whatever your cadence is, because then you're going to continue to bring people back into your game and still allow them to go to other games as well. Like, even, if you're EA, for instance, I'm sure EA has multiple live service games they're trying to support. Apex, Battlefield, I guess, sort of. But like, you got to have mindshare for all of those people if you want all these people to go to all these different projects. Otherwise, there's not enough mindshare for people to go to all these different things at the same time.
All right. There's a like the successful ones that we're talking about, like Destiny and Final Fantasy 14. There was another one that I was thinking of, but I lost it. But I also feel like, and we talked about it with mobile games where they're just shutting down so quickly, and Rumbleverse too. It's like, and I know that nobody wants to fail, but I feel like the willingness to fail and grow better is super important as well, because a lot of those successful games had terrible launches, terrible first years, but they kept with it, and they were willing to spend the money to recoup those losses and make a great game out of it. And I don't think a lot of companies are willing to do that, because at the end of the day, they're trying to make the money, and I can't be mad at them for that. But it takes time to get these games in a good place, because they are live service games. So you got to keep updating them. And if you're not willing to put in the time to make it what you had envisioned in your head, it'll never be that, because a lot of the games on here have really great aspects to them. Like Anthem's gameplay was awesome, but it didn't have any content to play to play that awesome combat in. Babylon's Fallen, I failed to find anything awesome about that, but I haven't played it. Marvel's Avenger, it had a really cool story. So if they worked on the combat a little bit better, I feel like they could have done some really cool episodic adventures if they worked on that as well. So, but they stick to either one thing that usually isn't the good thing about the game, and then they see that nobody likes it, and then they shut it down. It's like, well, you had something, but you're focusing on the wrong thing here.
And like, I was going to ask you guys how do we improve that, but you literally just answered that perfectly, Ro. Like, every case is different. Like, all these different live services don't have the same problem. There's many different problems that they're all encountering. Like you said, Marvel's Avengers with their combat, or Halo Infinite with too much grindiness, or Destiny with too much of the same content after you've completed like, there's so many layers that all of these developers have to figure out, like, what can we do better to make it, a better experience.
The thing for me is, like, when you ask how can we improve them, I think a lot of it stems from the approach of the game design, like the philosophy of, like, it feels like a lot of the I don't know, the modern day live service games that, like, do fail is that they approach it as like, how can we keep players invested? Like, how do we like maximize like not replayability, but like playable time? How do we keep them busy with stuff to do so that they exist in our game? When really like you got to go back down the fundamentals of like, is this game fun, right? And then work from there. Rocket League succeeds because like that is a very break it down. It's soccer with cars, right?
Yeah.
As long as the game is fun, people are going to keep coming back because that is like endless fun. And then it's just like luck plays a big part of it. And I'm thinking again to Knockout City because that game is fun. But it ended up being more of a distraction for people. Even Splitgate, like I thought Splitgate was tons of fun, but that again was more of a distraction. Like I played it for like a couple days and then bounced out because like I don't want to keep playing it, right? And we just never know what people are gonna supremely gravitate to and really stick with. Another great example that I thought of that when Ro was talking about like making sure the stuff is good first or working hard to make sure the stuff ends up being good eventually, it's Final Fantasy, the MMO, which came out and was like not good at all.
Yeah.
And it took years for them to like, they grew a huge audience that's now like one of the most successful games for them because they put in the work to make engaging gameplay for that kind of gameplay, not for me. But also like fantastically written stories. And they keep doing that. Like they'll do a new expansion with like, oh my god, this story's fantastic. And we're doing activities with friends that are really fun. It's like, yeah.
So I see people are so hyped for 16 because I'm pretty sure the same writer from 14 is writing 16, and people are like, oh sweet, I never got to experience those amazing stories that people keep talking about because 14 is such a big time commitment, but now I get to. And now, like you were saying, Christian, they worked on it, and now everybody just says it's like a meme now, like the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy 14. Yeah. It's like it actually is because it's good now. Yeah.
Interesting. And like
game development is hard.
Yes. And like Christian, you've been playing Fortnite. Like that's one of the best examples of ongoing game. But like the interesting thing with Fortnite is it's not perfect either. Like look at the store on Fortnite. There's 80 fucking things you can buy in that store. I've never seen more items that you can buy in my life on that game. But it's insane how many pages of stuff you can buy. But I guess it works because they continue to make ongoing changes to the map and to the modes and to the creative and endless support.
Doing constant collaborations and doing events and stuff. Like they keep it interesting even within season. Like there is stuff like every week to 2 weeks where it's like stuff is changing, even if it's still the same island, the same characters, whatever. Like they're doing other stuff within it, which is again hard to really nail what's going to stick with people.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me 8 years ago, or maybe it was 7, oh, you think you'll be playing Fortnite in 7 years from now? I'm like, God, no, what are you talking about? This game is so stupid. It's just a ripoff of another battle royale. Like, sure, it's kind of fun, but like, no way. Every night, 2023, oh, we're going to squabble? We're going to we're going to thank the bus driver tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, why not?
Christian's
I got a couple games in me.
I think you're constantly thinking about it while you're on the show here. You're just like, how do I get back to Fortnite? I need to get back.
No, I'm not an addict. Let's be
kidding.
real. Come on. Get out of here.
They had an Ariana Grande concert in that game.
That's insane.
Yeah. And I missed it.
And a Star Wars trailer.
Dude, they had premiered the Sonic shows. They've had Christopher Nolan trailers in there. Avengers stuff with the Russos in there. What is going on?
Insane.
I guess the next thing that we could be asking for is the FCU. Fortnite.
What?
Cinematic Universe. Sorry.
We don't need this.
Sorry.
Goodness.
Look at Overwatch though. They're doing story content pretty soon.
Yeah. They're
switching up a little bit from the live service acts. Like people were like not very as happy with Overwatch 2. Not a lot of meaningful changes happen in that new game.
Yeah, it's interesting to see a live service go from not live service. That'll be an interesting one to see if that works for them. Yeah.
Very interesting indeed. So I guess the answer to the question is live service games getting destroyed? Probably not.
Who knows?
Who knows?
The answer may surprise you.
The world may never know. All right. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Christian. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
Green comet tonight. Go outside.
See ya.